Do you think you'll receive an inheritance in your future? Or maybe you've just received one. If you've never navigated an inheritance before, you'll find out that it can be a complicated ordeal once it arrives, and the last thing you want hanging over your head after the loss of a loved one. Whether your inheritance arrives years from now or it's already here, this video is designed to help you answer a question I've heard countless times from people in your shoes. Where do I start? As a certified financial planner, I think the best place for you to start when confronted with an inheritance is to unpack it into manageable steps. Depending on the unique circumstances of your inheritance, you may end up with few steps or many. Regardless, with all inheritances, there are two steps that I think you should prioritize first. 1, understand the assets you've received. And 2, understand the responsibilities you've received. If you're stressed, you're annoyed, you're frustrated that you have a complicated ordeal in front of you while mourning the loss of a loved one, I highly encourage you to simply focus on these two steps to start. Because once you do, you will start seeing relief from these emotions and you will start seeing the path forward. So, how can you tackle these two steps? For step 1, your goal should be to compile a simple list of the types of assets you've received. Here's some common asset types you should keep in mind: bank accounts, brokerage accounts, life insurance proceeds, retirement accounts, and real estate. You can also include dollar amounts in a list like this, but honestly, the type of assets you receive has the biggest impact on your next steps, not the amount. For example, when you inherit real estate, such as a house, you know you likely have to deal with extra steps like appraisals and figuring out capital gain taxes. As another example, inheriting simple retirement accounts like IRAs is much more complicated than most people expect. Inheriting just a single traditional IRA can impact your taxes for years as you navigate strict rules about how and when you need to withdraw the money. Once you put together a list that looks roughly like this, you will have a great resource for moving forward. Whether you're talking to your siblings, attorneys, or simply Googling stuff, a list like this will be a huge help for organizing your thoughts and improving your discussions with others about the inheritance. And trust me, that alone will speed up the process much more than you can even imagine. Up next is step 2, understanding the responsibilities you've received. Before I go on, let me clearly disclaim that I am not an attorney and I am not giving legal advice. But I am a certified financial planner and I do have the following estate planning info, which you may find helpful. With that out of the way, understanding your responsibilities boils down to answering a series of questions. The first question is whether you're receiving your inheritance through a trust or not. If the answer is yes, the key question becomes whether you are a trustee of that trust. If you're not, you're simply a beneficiary and you've been granted zero responsibility over distributing assets of the trust. If you are a trustee, buckle up. You have a big responsibility. You'll be managing and distributing the assets of the trust in accordance with the terms of the trust. That means you will likely need to find and work alongside professionals like estate planning attorneys, CPAs, and real estate agents, all while the beneficiaries are looking to you for what they've been promised from the trust. If you're curious, the most common way I participate in this process as a certified financial planner is here, when a trustee asks me to help them manage these responsibilities, reduce the time and cost of their meetings with attorneys and CPAs, and join their corner as a confidant for any questions that pop up along the way. But moving on, you may be asking what happens if there isn't a trust. In that case, the question becomes whether you've received your inheritance per a valid will. If so, the next step is to figure out whether or not the will names you as the executor of the estate. If not, then you haven't been granted responsibilities over distributing the assets. If you are named an executor, You'll have similar responsibilities as a trustee for helping distribute the assets of the estate, with one big difference. While the distribution of assets from a trust is dictated by what's written in the trust, the distribution of an estate per a will alone is carried out under the supervision of the courts, in public record, through a process called probate. Just like a trustee, an executor often deals with various professionals like attorneys, CPAs, and real estate agents, but an executor has to add the courts to this mix. And as a brief aside, if you suspect that you or your parents may be unknowingly subjecting loved ones to the slow, public, and frustrating process of probate upon death, feel free to use this video as a nudge to talk to an estate planning attorney. If you're looking for a good one, feel free to reach out. I know plenty I'd be happy to recommend. Finally, to round out this flowchart, if there's no valid will, it's state law that essentially decides who should serve as an executor. Although when there's no will, that person's technically called an administrator or personal representative instead of an executor. And while rules vary state by state, there's typically a simple priority list of who gets appointed to this role, and a surviving spouse is often first in line, followed by children. Stepping back, the details for these two steps of understanding the assets and responsibilities of your inheritance definitely add up. But hopefully for you, they add up to an answer of where to start. And if I can be of any help as you tackle these steps or others, don't hesitate to let me know. There's details in the description below on how you can request complimentary templates to help organize key information, ask for a referral of qualified attorneys and CPAs, or schedule a one-on-one consultation with my firm Andante Financial if you want to explore adding us to your corner as a trusted resource. And with that, I hope this video has been of help, and best of luck with your next steps.